All right, what's good, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Live Wild Sports Media. This is your midday Wednesday edition, and we got breaking news. So, less than 24 hours after all the DeWanner Bonner drama has finally come to a head yesterday and finally come to an end today, as Chloe Peterson from the Indy Star has announced that the Indiana Fever will be waiving DeWanner Bonner and bringing back Aari McDonald. So, breaking. The Fever are waiving DeWanner Bonner. Lead sources told Indy Star, then resigning Aari McDonald. Bonner requested a trade after feeling she couldn't find a role on the team, sources said, but Indy could not find a suitable trade partner. And I touched on this yesterday in saying that a trading her would be the best option, but it would have been hard because of the 200K that she received from the Indiana Fever. Now, with her being waived, she would have to wait 48 hours before she signed with another team. Most likely, she will be signing with the Phoenix Mercury, with her significant half. Now, the Phoenix Mercury have 93,000 in salary, but they could sign her to the vet minimum of 78, where she will be paired with her fiance Alyssa Thomas. Now, don't know what role where DeWanna Bonner would play, but that's neither here or there. Thank you for your service. Move on. Hey, it's what it is. So, and then there was a report, with Alyssa Thomas talking to the media, and they brought up about her, and she shut it down because she knew they talked, whatever the case may be, and nobody was going to trade for her contract. I think the Fever did everything they could yesterday to try to find a suitable trade partner, and nobody was going to give up assets to the Bonner. If her salary was less than what she had, then I think they would have made something shape. But since they couldn't, it's what it is. So now the Indiana Fever are bringing Aari McDonald back, who was a value contributor when Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Clark was out some weeks. Now you bring her back into the fall, you get her to play in again. Now you probably be able to play a little bit faster, take a little bit pressure off of Caitlin Clark a little bit, help Caitlin Clark find a shot, her rhythm again, which has been off for the last 3 games since the Connecticut Sun game. So the article goes on to read that this Indiana Fever are waiving DeWanna Bonner on Wednesday morning. League sources told the Indy Star. Concurrently, the Fever will resign Aari McDonald to a standard regular season contract at a vet minimum. That is good because then they have room to bring in another person, because the fact of the matter that the Maris Johnson just left today to go overseas to play in the America Cup with Brazil. They still gonna need some more people, another piece. Now Bonner has been away from the team since June 12th, missing 5 games for personal reasons. Reports first surfaced on Tuesday morning that Bonner did not intend to return back to the Fever. In 9 games with the Fever, Bonner averaged 7.1 points a game, 3.8 rebounds a game, and 21 minutes. Bonner's a 16-year vet, 37 years old, 6'4", and was a covert free agent signing for the Fever in February. The Indy that she would bring some of the veteran leaderships to the core. And this probably kind of affected Caitlin Clark a little bit. There's a lot of things going on with Caitlin Clark, but I would touch on a special video of that later on in the week. But Bonner consistently felt like it wasn't a good fit from the beginning of the season. Lead sources said the Fever tried different lineups and combinations, which included moving Bonner to coming off the bench and putting Alexa Hall in the starting lineup, but they couldn't get to a place where Bonner felt good about her role. To me, I think she wanted to start. I think she wanted to definitely um, be a starter, and her play, the rhythm, the continuity. I think it was so much going on, and it's what it was. Bonner then requested a trade, according to lead sources. Indy looked for trade opportunities, but the size of her contract and the fact it is only 14 games into the season made it difficult to find a suitable team, and that's what it was. The contract was high. I think the Indiana Fever messed up on this one. They front office messed up on it because they shouldn't have paid her that much. They should have just paid her a vet minimal. And then if she wasn't happy, gave her the opportunity to look somewhere else she could trade later on. But then you wasted all that money because you couldn't fill out your roster the way you wanted to 12. You was capped off at 11. So um Bonner signed with the Fever for over 200K unprotected per hoops stats. So the Fever are able to waive her without a buyout or any monetary penalty. That is good. Bonner will end up taking up about 64,000 of the Fever salary cap space for the 14 games that she was on the roster. Bonner will hit the waiver within 48 hours, which allow her to pick a team to pick her to a team to pick her up and soon on the rest of her contract. If she is not claimed off waivers within 48 hours, she would become a unrestricted free agent and able to sign with any team for as low as the prorated minimum. So I think she's gonna wait 48 hours to because like if she hits waivers, a team could just snatch her up. To be honest with you, and what it is. Say Connecticut picked her up. Say the Valkyries picked her up. Say Seattle picked her up. Say some, I mean, who knows? Say Chicago picked her up. You don't know. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, that'll keep her from going to Phoenix. But if she waits 48 hours and doesn't desire to go to another team, then guess what? She plays with, she goes back for Phoenix, play with Alyssa Thomas, and this, whatever it is. I mean, if you look at the Phoenix, now, is DeWanner Bonner going to start over there? That's going to be the question. Anyway, waiving Bonner frees up cap space for the Indy to sign McDonald, who will sign for the prorated vet minimum around 53. That's good. That is on top of the 6,000 she made while she was on hardship early in the month. So now, um, mm, mm. so pretty much that's about it. I mean, there's nothing more to say or anything else. Anything. Uh, because I knew that when the Fever released her, they wanted to bring Aari McDonald back, and I'm glad that she was able to wait out the 10 days to come back. And I knew so on June 13 to potentially resign her, those 10 days lapses the 10 days lapsed on Tuesday. So yesterday was the last day. So they kind of like knew they had an idea they was gonna bring her back. Whether they had Bonner or not, they probably was gonna bring her back. McDonough McDonald could sign with any team, rather on a hardship or standard contract within those 10 days. But the Fever expressed to her that they wanted her to bring her back this season in hopes that she could stay available. So just like I stated, weeks ago when she got released that the Fever front office, coaching staff, everybody had talked to her and they was going to make sure they found a way to bring her back and they wanted her to wait it out until things shake up the way it is. So now they got her back and she waited out because we saw a lot of teams was picking up. A lot of people was talking about, hey, we the Chicago Sky could have picked her up. Um, the Golden State Valkyries could have picked her up, but they didn't. They signed other players, so they ended up bringing her back. Now, uh, I gotta get back because I had a point to make. Ooh, okay, now this move also allows the Fever the cap space of about 119 to sign a 12 player to their roster. Indy is aiming to sign a front court player for the final spot, lead sources said, in hopes of fulfilling the gap that Bonner left. That is good. So if you could go ahead and give Emma Muirsman the rest of that money to come on for the rest of the season, that spot is solidified. Then you have another guard and you have that spot. And then you'll have your 12th roster. I think Emma, they have to go at Emma Muirsman for the rest of that contract. Sign her for the rest of that contract. That 119. You have to do that. You cannot, and I stress again, you cannot um mess this up at all. If you do, it's going to be ugly. You have to have front court help. Right now, they're very thin, and you could easily get Emma Mills Martin in the game. Bring her in, sign her to that contract, have her start. I will move her to the start. Let her put Natasha Howard on the bench immediately. Because if you bring in a talent like Emma Mills Martin, you don't set Lexi, who's been playing excellent. You set Natasha Howard, have Natasha come off the bench, have Emma Mills Martin Mearsman play in that spot. And that's where you have a stretch four in that spot that alleviate a lot of pressure from Caitlin and Aaliyah Boston to clogging up that paint. It's going to be interesting. Hopefully, the Fever does the right thing with that 119 that got left, because it's going to be detrimental. Because if you bring Emma in, your team is solidified, and this team will play. This team will compete. Will definitely compete with and get right back up there in the competition with anybody else. So leave your likes and comments, and let me know who you think the Fever should sign as their 12th pair. Welcome back, Aari McDonald. McDonald. Bye bye, DeWanner Bonner. Let's go Fever. Until the next episode, your midday. Well, I'm gonna start calling this Midday Madness. Your Wednesday Midday Madness edition, and you know what it is. And if you don't know, now you know.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't want to miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment.